Hey yo, shut your mouth. Game time. The gridiron. Shut your mouth, podcasting. Yards, touchdowns. Shut your mouth, podcasting. First round draft pick. Believe we got stats.
All right, let's start the show in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Sim Podcast Show. I'm your co-host Sirik, and I'm always joined by my co-host Ron. What up, Ron?
What's going on?
You know what we do? We talk about the National Football League on a weekly basis, including the playoffs. Ron, we're come back from a short break. Well, when was the last time that we recorded?
It was a long break for us before the World Cup really got going, right? It's been a few weeks.
It's been more than a few. I don't remember when last time we were here. Like, yeah, it's gonna be a long summer because the Sox stink, and wow,
but
what a turnaround!
The Sox, turned it around. We had, have had that to look forward to. The World Cup was good, so now that football's back, I feel like this wasn't really a bad summer. Not that I didn't miss it, but there was a lot to keep my attention going.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if anybody needed a good summer, it was me, because Patriots let me down in the biggest game. I needed a break. And the fact that the World Cup was happening. Yeah. Then we got the Red Sox with a turnaround. Miraculous turnaround. And then we're back. We're back. So this is Season 6, Episode 153. What are we going to talk about? We got the NFL news. We got some OTA news.
Training camp, yeah.
Yes, and then we have our annual QB ranking, where we're going to talk about where these QBs lined up. And I know we're just making our predictions, but, we want... These are the QBs. These are going to lead your team. So if you're in there, if you're not in there, if you're way in the bottom, be worried. Be worried. And I'm talking about you, Atlanta Falcons. Be worried. So let's start with the news. Bijan finally got the extension. I mean, are you surprised? They weren't going to trade him.
No. It's about changing the running back market. And if there's anyone that should do it, it's Bijan and Gibbs. Those two are setting the market back to where I think it needs to be for the running backs. For so long, they have been undervalued, and his contract, I think it's just a starting point for what we're gonna see, for years to come. Hopefully, knock on wood. There's not a lot of running backs as talented as those two guys, but I hope this means that the running backs are going to start to get paid now going forward.
Well, not only get paid, but they were already kind of an intricate part of the the offense, right. And finally they're getting their dues. Yeah. And we talk about a receiver now. Flowers getting an extension. Are you a little bit disappointed? He should be better. Where are you with Flowers?
I'm a huge Zay Flowers fan from Boston College. At one point I wanted him to be a Steeler. I think he's had close to 1,000 yards just about every season since being in the league. So he's a good receiver. I think he's a solid number 2 receiver though, and not a number 1. And I think Ravens just paid him like a number 1. I think this is the largest guarantee for any, as far as guaranteed money for any receiver in the NFL. So again, his contract 4 years, $140 million extension that includes $108 million in guaranteed money. I think that's even bigger than any of the top receivers in the league, which is insane to me. I don't think he's worth that much money.
So who's number 1 for the Ravens then?
He is number 1, but I don't think he is
he's not a
prototype number 1
he's not
receiver.
A prototype. He's no AJ Brown,
right,
which we'll talk about in a few. The other news is Beck is going to play in the Hall of Fame for the Cardinals. Are you surprised? Because I thought it was Brissett, the starter for the Cardinals.
Not really surprised. I think nowadays, I think teams handle it so differently. Each team does with just 3 preseason games now. Which one they use as the warm up for their starters. And, I don't know. I think who was Pickett that's starting for Carolina. So, it doesn't really surprise him. I'm actually kind of excited to see him play. I think he's, I think he's going to be a decent quarterback if he gets the opportunity. So, yeah, we'll see what happens to these preseason games. Like every team's doing things differently. Some teams are playing their starters week 1 or game 1. Some are waiting till like the preseason 3. Some teams are not playing them at all. It's been like all over the place. And that's what's been made it hard to like judge, how good these teams are in the preseason, because you're not seeing a lot of starters play consistently, on these teams. So, we'll see.
Who's the head coach for the Cardinals now?
I can't remember,
because that dude, they fired that one guy, right?
Yeah.
And Tennessee, the coach there is the Jets coach.
Mike LaFleur is the coach for the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, what does that name sound familiar? But not the Green Bay coach, right?
No, he's formerly with the Jets, San Fran, Atlanta.
So he's a first-time head coach?
Yeah. I think previously a coordinator, but never a head coach.
No, that's interesting. We'll see. I feel like Cardinals are just like, when the last time they challenged was when this dude was a quarterback, right? Bruce Arians, I think, was a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been a disappointment. They are going to most likely be in last place this season. At the end of the preseason, I think we go over predictions and stuff. I'm sure they'll be at the bottom
That's a tough division.
Of the division. So yeah. It is what it is for that team.
Yeah, it's a tough division. Bucks contract. So Mayfield disrespected Vita Vea. I'm not sure he wants to be traded, but he has a mysterious back injury.
Yeah, they all do. All the holdouts do at this point. The hold-ins, I should say. I don't know what the Bucks are doing. It's been an interesting off season. The end of the season last year did not end well. Mike Evans had a lot to say, and obviously he got shipped out. They're a team that can win the division. But at the same time, they can win the division with like 9 wins or 10 wins, not more than that. You don't see them winning any more, more games than that. They're at the crossroads, basically. They need to figure out how to get younger and better. They need to figure out their quarterback situation. I can see reasons for wanting to hold off on paying Mayfield like a large extension, but at the same time, he's been there. He's played pretty well for the most part. And then same with Vita Vea. He's been one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL for a while. He's up there at age 31. I think they're just trying to figure out, do we want to get younger, right? Or do we want to really go for it? And if we do go for it, what does that mean? Does it mean, winning the division and being bounced again? And if that's the case, is it worth paying these guys that much money?
Well, that's the thing, is like they keep losing offensive coordinators. I think this is the first time that the offensive coordinator is actually going to come back, because they lost Canales to Carolina, then they lost the other one to the Jacksonville. Then this one it looks like he's going to come back, but when they actually have continuity, that's when they want to be paid.
Yeah, and listen, Mike Evans is, call it what you is. He's up there in age. He's already hurt in camp, by the way, but he still was probably their best receiver, and they let him walk. This is a guy who probably should have retired, as a Buccaneer. Once you decide to let him go, then everyone's up for grabs at that point, I would imagine, right? Because he's the face, to me, Mike Evans is, of the Buccaneers. So I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously Mayfield will play, but I don't know if he'll get an extension and what that would look like. Like I said, I don't know what is the right thing to do if you're the Tampa Bay Bucks. They're at a crossroads because, I think they see, New Orleans getting better, younger and better. Atlanta, we'll see, what kind of team they are. You're gonna have to compete with these guys for like in the next few years, and Mayfield at 30, however old he is, and Vita Vea at 31 right now, I believe. Is it worth paying these guys that much money?
I mean, that division is always up for grabs, right? So we'll see how that shapes out. Okay, so let's talk about the Romo arrest, because it's been maybe a week or 2 weeks or so. He's been suspended from CVS, but then I keep seeing like everybody's dunking on these cops because they didn't know who he was, first of all. They assumed that he was drunk because he was coming from the country club. This is, of course, what I'm seeing right now on social media. And then, like, he did the sobriety test and he looked like he passed.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Like, was he really drunk, or like?
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't. But honestly, like, it's the off season. These things happen, not just to players and coaches, but to anyone. It can happen, and
it just being part of being a human, right?
Yeah,
so like you're gonna not necessarily break a law, but you're gonna become close to it, and because it's famous, it just gets out.
Yeah, you're gonna have a target on your back, but you gotta be able to find something else to do, right? Like, you're Tony Romo. Can't you get an Uber if you are indeed like drunk? I just don't get it anymore. They need to understand that they are targets, and at the same time, they're rich enough to be able to
afford a $50 ride.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just not very smart. But we are talking about ex-football player here. Now,
do you like? I like Tony Romo's now announcer. I know he's received a lot of criticism the last 2 or 3 years or so as a broadcaster. Are you a fan of Tony Romo at all?
I mean, he doesn't as much teach the audience as much as he knows what play's coming, and I think he's gotten a little bit of slack because of that. Because it's hey, don't tell us what plays next.
Right.
Just, break it down. How did this happen? But that seems like his downfall. He knows oh, this is going to be quarterback to the left. And then it happens.
Yeah.
And then I almost feel like he's proud of it. Yeah, Jim, I call that. Yeah. I call that. Yeah. And then okay. Oh, you know the game. We got But how about us that we don't know the in and outs of it. So that's
Tom Brady hasn't done that yet. I don't think. I haven't listened to Tom Brady too much. It's only been 1 year, but
yeah. I don't think Tom Brady does that. He does a lot of well, when I was talking to him, he told me this, and when I was talking to him, I remember, and then he goes back to his days as playing football. He's I have so many libraries of playbooks in my house, and you're okay, dude. Just be normal. Just be normal. Let's talk about the training camp. What are the Steelers up to, Ron?
Yeah, so as far as notes from training camp, I think a couple important things is one, how different training camp has been under Mike McCarthy versus Mike Tomlin. Everything's different from the schedules. Tomlin loved to run practices in the afternoon. He liked it to be hot out. He saw that as a challenge, mental challenge for the players. Whereas McCarthy's running his, practices first thing in the morning, when it's cooler out. As far as physicality, McCarthy received some flack this week or last week about, he made a comment about not tackling, right? We're not going to be tackling people. And people took that and ran off to say, we're not going to be physical. And what it was really saying, hey, we got to protect our players. We're going to, wrap folks up. We're just not going to take them to the ground. We're going to make sure we protect ourselves. And we have a full team when we get to the regular season. So I think it's been a little bit less physical for sure. But at the same time, the other thing is pace. You definitely notice the pace of how many plays they're getting off on offense. You can see it's a huge difference between when Tomlin ran it versus when McCarthy is running practice. It is so much focus on the offense and how many plays that they can get squeezed in. And it's I can tell you, as from a fan perspective, the fans are excited. 19 plus years or whatever on the Tomlin and how rigid those practices were. There were a lot of benefits to it. Don't get me wrong, but just to see something different, I think has been great. So I think that's the one thing I'd say that folks have noticed for sure. The other thing is people are paying attention to the quarterback situation for sure, not just with Aaron Rodgers, but we got two young quarterbacks, Aller and Howard. There's a lot of debate online about who's better, who needs to be the future and all this other stuff. But, I take this time to remind people this is like, this is not a real game. No one's really, it's not much you can get off of from training camp at all. Let's see these guys in game action, and before we start to make any judgments on how well they play. But I'm excited. I am happy from what I've seen. I think so far from Howard, Aller's been like up and down. He definitely has the physical tools, but up and down in terms of like his accuracy and just his just knowing how to play in the pocket and stuff. So I think he has a longer way to go. Some standouts from camp: Roman Wilson and Asante Samuels. Those guys have been great. I think for Roman, there are some folks that were thinking he might not even make the team this year. And, it's his third year. The first 2 years were a disappointment under Tomlin. But now you can see Rodgers and him have a really good connection so far in camp. I think it's a lock. I always thought it was a lock for him to make the team. I think he's our most dynamic receiver in terms of like playmaking ability. So glad to see he's having a good camp. And then Asante Samuels, he's having a good camp as well. I think a lot of that has to do with Joey Porter Jr. not being there, but having a hold in, if you will, and not really taking part in any of the activities. So those two guys have performed really well to date. And then the other thing that's been in the news recently is just about Rodgers and his playing time, whether or not he'll play. Sounds like both McCarthy and Rodgers agree for him to play in the preseason, which will be a change from anything he's done over the last couple of years. So excited to see him take some snaps in the preseason. I think he needs it. He hasn't been perfect in camp. He's been up and down as well. So
he is 42 years old.
Yeah, he is.
When is his birthday?
I'm not sure.
Did he just turn?
No, I think he has a birthday coming up during the season.
So he's going to turn 42?
43, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
43?
Let me see. He's up there, so. But yeah, I want to see him play in preseason. I wanted to see him play last year. He didn't play at all. I thought it was important for him to play last year. Having a new coach and stuff, but Tomlin elected not to play him. I'm anxious to kind of see what he looks like. He's 42, about to be 43 in December 2nd.
Wow. So will this be his last year?
Yeah. I mean, he's already come out and said this is it for me. So, and I take him for his word this time. I think he's done. He's done.
He hasn't said something else in Pat McAfee show.
Yeah. I mean, he's acting like he's out, right? He doesn't give a damn anymore. So he's going on the show, and he's always been that way. He speaks his mind or whatever. But I think he's just like whatever. He's just laying it out on the table at this point. He don't care.
Well, they definitely pay him to go on the show, right? He doesn't just like out of his kindness, his heart, he's going to talk about football for it.
Well, he was there because Pat McAfee was, that show. They were at Steelers camp this week, so that's why Rodgers and some of the other players had an opportunity to talk. But they're friends. There's no doubt about it. So I don't know if he gets paid though. To be honest with you,
I have to find out if he gets paid. On the Patriots side, Christian Gonzalez. I mean, the dude is practicing hard, going full speed in practice with no contract extension.
That's the difference between JPJ and Gonzalez. I think those are the two cornerbacks, if I'm not mistaken. Might be one other person.
Witherspoon, did he get paid?
Was it him that got paid? There was a cornerback who got paid.
I know McDuffie got paid, and then he got shipped out.
Yeah. Gonzalez is one of the, if not the best cornerback in the NFL. He's top 2 for sure. JPJ, on the other hand, I think he's a top 6 or 7 cornerback. He didn't show up on that top 10 list that ESPN did, but I think he's worth like a huge contract extension. And I don't know what's going on. Like, is what he wants so far from where the Steelers are? I don't know, but it sounds like on the Patriots side, they want to pay him. They want to make him the highest paid.
I mean, I was shocked that Robert Kraft came out and said that, like, okay, so you want him to get paid.
Yeah, he needs to be paid.
I saw like a short video training camp on the YouTubes. And they were like, where is Christian Gonzalez, left or right? Before the huddle. Doesn't matter if it was Drake May or the other quarterback, like they need to know where he is.
Yeah.
That's how dangerous he is. Yeah. They don't want to even like throw his way, even though, he went against AJ Brown on 1-on-1, but they're like, first things first, where is Christian Gonzalez?
Yeah. He is that guy, man. And I told you, when you guys drafted him coming out, I'm like, this guy is a baller.
Well, they were like talking like, oh, he's too soft. No, that's just his character.
Right.
He's just like smooth operator, never always under control. I hope that he gets paid.
Oh yeah, he deserves it. Well, he deserves it.
The other thing I noticed, Drake May has a bounty of receivers again. A bounty. Now
we thought this last year though.
And then they kept everybody. Mm-hmm. What I want to talk about is who this 2024 draft. Oh, Baker's not there. Polk is not. They're not even in the league.
Yeah.
the only one that saved the draft was Drake May. Everybody else is not even playing anymore. So I'm thinking, do we have to always get AJ Brown or Matt Collins or whatever? Well, we did draft Kayshon Boutte, but that was last year. Romeo Doubs.
How's he looked? Have you seen anything about him?
He looks great. I mean, him and Demaris Douglas could be fighting for that 2 spot, but it looks like it's gonna be Romeo for sure. But
no, he got the money, so
I mean, this offense
I've
might be.
Saw highlights of Boutte, catching some deep passes.
I mean, I don't know. The thing is, like, Boutte plays the same position as Brown, so I don't know if they can have both of them, in the same play at the same time. So we'll see. It all depends on what Josh McDaniel does, as far as like making sure that both of them are out there. The one person that I always see that now maybe making the team is Kyle Williams. He's fast, but every time he even runs a wrong route or just does something dumb, and like, you already did that in your freshman year. You can't do it in your second year.
Right. And Kyle Williams is really good too. I mean, you guys have a lot of young weapons on the team for sure.
Well, they talk about Mike Collins playing tight end.
Really?
Because they weren't sure about that number 2 draft pick tight end from Illinois. But that dude showed up this week, full pads, and he's a beast. He's a beast. They're worried like, oh no, you just got knee surgery. We're not sure. He was out there just breaking dudes off. He's like a 2nd round pick, so he's gonna probably be like Hunter Henry replacement eventually. But I'm really excited about this receiver core.
Lots to be excited about. I just think back to like 3-4 years ago, we were saying the receiver, for the Patriots is like one of the worst, right? They never had invested at all in the receiving room, and now like it's a complete, a 180, and you probably have like too many weapons at this point at the receiver position.
Bill Belichick was not good at drafting offensive players. All right, let's talk about our QB rankings, Ron. Who are in your top 10?
Yeah, I don't know how much this is going to surprise anybody, but I have Josh Allen at number 1. I just think he's like the most physically gifted, best quarterback in the league by pretty decent margin. I have Lamar Jackson at number 2, Mahomes at number 3, Stafford at number 4, Burrow. I probably had him at number 2 last year. I dropped him down to number 5. I need to see something from him in terms of like staying healthy. I think he can get back up there, but I just need to see something from him. I put Caleb Williams at 6, Herbert At 7, Sam Darnold, the surprise player probably that made my list at number 8. Drake May at number 9 and Daniels at number 10.
Yeah, that's a good list. The only one that I dropped was Herbert, but I have Stafford as number 1 just because he's the reigning MVP. I got him there. I got Lamar Jackson. I got Goff because I think he had an off year last year. Obviously, with this dude being the offensive coordinator, didn't work out. Josh Allen, Drake May at number 5, Williams at number 6. I got Burrows number 7 for the same reason you just mentioned. I mean, can he stay healthy? Do they have an offensive line this year? We'll see. I have Daniels at number 8, Darnold at number 9. Listen. You know how they say, like, all you gotta do is manage the game? That's what he did in the Super Bowl, let's be honest.
No. No, I don't disagree that he's more of a game manager than anything, but if you watched Sam Darnold play this season, he looks like a first-round quarterback, first-round pick, which, he was. The dude not only manages the game, he makes plays. He knows how to maneuver in the pocket and throw guys open. And yeah, he has some great receivers. Don't get me wrong.
Great receivers, great running back,
great offense. I get it, but he's a damn good quarterback too. And I have him. You have him. We're only one spot difference. I have 8 and 9, but
because he has one good year. Well, no, he had a good year with Minnesota, but I want to see him like really succeed.
Yeah, I have the talking points here. Did you finish your top 10?
No, Pat Mahomes is number 10. Yeah. And I'll drop them all the way down because I just don't know how good he's going to be from the injury. So I want to see him first. And I don't... Who's his receivers? I don't know who the receivers are. Isn't Rice locked up?
I don't know what his situation is. I don't know who they ended up drafting. So I got to go back and look at their team. But that's been the case for 2 years now. It's like, get this guy some weapons. But that doesn't mean that he's not a good quarterback. No,
but I mean, we'll have to see. I know they're bringing that offensive coordinator back. Yeah. I forgot his name, but I know they're bringing him back, so we'll see. We'll see. Who are 10 to 20? Before
you get there, let's talk about Drake May for a sec, because you have him at number 5. I have him at number 9. And I feel the same way. I feel the same way about May as I do with a little bit with CJ Stroud. And I don't know if the playoffs, with how May performed in the playoffs, if he's more like how he performed in the playoffs, or is he more like how he performed in the regular season when he was like an MVP candidate? Was that a result of him playing soft teams? And when the competition was better, he kind of, I want to say, struggled a little bit, but the offensive line struggled.
Well, he already came out and said that he got injured in the playoff. So he had a bad shoulder. So
yeah, that's like Rodgers. He came out today and said, yeah, I had a flu like in the playoffs, and that's why I was throwing up and stuff.
I don't know about that.
That's what he said today. He's like, that was the reason.
Just drink some Theraflu, you'll be fine. Drink some liquid, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but I've seen some quarterback lists where May is definitely in the top 10, but some people have him higher. I have him at number 9. I think I need to see a second year of him doing that to say you're in the top 5. I don't have him there yet. And then the other one, Daniels, the same conversation, really. Like, he had an outstanding rookie year and then kind of not fell off, but he had a really mediocre second year. And I want to see where he truly is. He really, I have him at number 10. Does he really belong there? You have him at number 8. Or, can he get back to like what he was his rookie year?
I mean, I don't know who the offense coordinator for Washington is now.
I think they made some changes, if I'm not mistaken.
The Kingsbury is now with another team, so I don't know who replaced him. But that's why I have him at number 8. I think I want to see him actually succeed with a different coordinator, so that we know, okay, well, he definitely got it. It wasn't it wasn't Kingsbury calling the plays and seeing what he's got. So right. We'll see. So question mark Daniels, question mark Mahomes. Everybody else kind of like, to me, he's a proven quarterback. 10 to 20. Well, who do you got?
Yeah, 11. I have Prescott at number 11. This I know is going to surprise people. I put Mendoza right there at number 12. I know he hasn't taken a snap yet in the NFL, but I think he's just that guy, and I think he'll be starting sooner than later. I got Purdy at 13, Mayfield at 14, Goff 15, Love 16, Trevor Lawrence at 17, Tyler Shuck, which I'm a huge fan of, at number 18 right now. I think he can make the leap, get inside the top 10 at some point in his career. And then Bo Nix at 19, and then Jalen Hurts right at number 20.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I did have Bo Nix a little bit high. So I have Love, Herbert, Mayfield at number 13, Purdy 14, Bo Nix at 15, Trevor Lawrence I have number 16, Tyler Shuck at 17, CJ Stroud 18, Rodgers I have a 19, and I have Daniel Jones. And to me, Daniel Jones, he should be high on the list, but coming back from that injury,
yeah,
I don't know if he's going to be any good right away.
Yeah,
is he even playing?
Yeah,
he's playing.
I don't know if he's back practicing yet. I don't know, but they expect him to play this season.
Yeah, so I'm not mad at this list. Now that I look at it, I left out Jalen Hurts from my list, but yeah, he should be in there. I mean, he's a Super Bowl winner. He should be in there somehow.
Yeah, but he's not a top 10, which I think this time last year I was like, oh, he's a top 10 quarterback. I don't see that at all. So that's why I have him at number 20.
No, how can you be in the top 10 when you had a number one receiver and you didn't use him as number one?
Exactly. So
yeah, he has some, and then something came out that he refuses to throw over a certain yardage. I don't know. A lot of things are coming out of the Eagles camp about her, so we'll see. Who do you have 21 to 31?
I got CJ Stroud. Amit talked about him earlier. He played so poorly last year, especially in the playoffs. I just don't know how to rank him, to be honest with you. 21 might be a little bit too low for him, but that's where I have him for now. Daniel Jones, I put at 22. To your point, we'll see him off the injury, what he looks like. I got Cam Ward at 23. I was never a huge fan of Cam Ward. This is, I think, year 2 for him, so we'll see if he improves. Rodgers, I finally got it in my list at number 24. I think at this point of his career, he's the back end of the list. And
so you don't think he's going to play all 17 games?
One, I don't know if he'll play all 17 games because of injury. He can't move around. And two, I think he just chooses this. He doesn't take time to sit in the pocket and throw downfield. He's notoriously the fastest to throw. He takes a lot of dump downs. His second favorite target, if you look it up, for the last 15 years.
It's a running back, right?
Is the running back, right? He loves to throw to the running back. He loves to dump it off. He just doesn't like to get hit. And I think because of that, his stats. But he's not, you're not going to see a lot of 300-yard games. It's 230-yard games, efficient, but not necessarily, winning the game. He's managing the game for the most part. So I think that's what he is. Hopefully with McCarthy there, he'll push the ball downfield a little bit more, take some shots deep, but we'll see. I just don't have that much confidence in him doing that at this point of his career. So, but I have him at number 24. I have Bryce Young at 25. Kyler Murray at number 26. Joe Flacco made my list. He's not a starter. I don't even know if he's in the league right now, at 27. I have Dart at 28. Mac Jones, not a starter. I have him at number 29. Michael Penix. And then Tua, who almost didn't make my list. I have him at 31. There's a lot of guys that are starting that to me should not be starters in the league anymore. But some guys like Tua, Kirk Cousins, who I don't have on my list. He's obviously a starter right now, but again, that's to me, it's just a matter of time before he gives it out to Mendoza.
I have Prescott at number 21. I have Dart at 22. Same thing, Mendoza. I have a 23. I think he's going to eventually take the reins over Cousins. I have a Brissett at number 24. Obviously, like you mentioned, maybe they went with Beck, but I think it's Brissett's age. I really like Brissett. I think he's a game manager. I have McCarthy at number 25. Kyler Murray at number 26. I mean, I know that they're competing and it's leaning towards Kyler Murray, but you already know what you're going to get out of Kyler Murray.
And I think you're starting to know what you're getting out of JJ McCarthy, too.
So it's a lose-lose, basically.
Yeah, well.
So I feel bad for Minnesota. Penix, I got a number 27. Same thing. Tua. They could be switch places. Penix, Tua. I just don't trust either one. Even though, Penix had a decent game against New England last year, but it was like he was snapping the ball, clapping.
Yeah.
College stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, dude, you got to get on the center, man. You got to get on the center. I got Ward at number 29. I got Flacco at 30. I think he might be playing for Atlanta as a backup, but
I don't think he's...
somebody signed him up.
Did they?
Oh, yes, I saw that. Then I have Fields at 31. I think he's backing up Mahomes in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
But, as you mentioned, this is the bottom of the list. I mean...
Yeah. You don't have, I don't see Bryce Young yet either.
Yeah, that was Young and Hurts is the one I left out. But Bryce Young, he had a pretty good season last year.
I think he's a good quarterback that's limited. Will always be limited. He'll never be a top 10. But it doesn't mean that he can't win.
No, he can win. And I think he had a couple of comebacks in last year. So, yeah, I mean, listen, this list, I think we nailed it with the top 10. And then 11 through 20, it could be a toss-up. And then we just know that, I don't know, Prescott, he does great in the season, and when the playoff starts, I don't know what happened. He just disappears. So he has to have a good playoff run, like at least get to the conference championship or something, and then then start breaking in the top 15. But yeah, 21, same thing with Hurts. Like, I know you're a Super Bowl winner, but if you don't have all the talent around you, are you that good, really?
Yeah, we'll find out.
So Ron, are you gonna watch Hard Knocks
tonight? Yeah, it might not be tonight, but I'll watch it probably today or tomorrow, for sure. And then I'll definitely be watching the preseason game on Thursday. I don't know, maybe like a few minutes of the game, I guess. But yeah, football's back.
Football is back. I wanna watch preseason football, but at the same time, the Sox, they've been on TV, on my TV, 24/7.
Yeah, I feel they're gonna let us down. I remember last year, I was like, "This is it. I believe in this team." When they were like, they had a run, not as much as like the run that they had this year, but I was like, "There's something special about this team." This was me last year, and no, there was nothing special.
I like the fact that they have a new manager, that they actually listen to playing small ball. I know this is a football podcast, but I'm really excited about this team. Crochet might be coming back from injury. I don't know about Trevor's story, but listen, I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. I hope that October baseball happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So next week we'll do episode 154. And we'll talk about your Steelers. We'll talk about the roster. We'll talk about predictions. And then we'll talk about who's going to be the better passing, blah, 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 running backs or darts, whatever. So until we meet again, I say peace.
Peace. All right, that's it, guys. That's the end of the show. Thanks so much for all your support and listening today. If you got any questions, comments, feedback, feel free to email us at simsportsmedia@gmail.com. That's SYMSPORTSMEDIA@gmail.com. Peace.